All signs point to the Chicago Bulls being in the play-in for the third straight season. We're going to be talking about the key takeaways from tonight's win as the Chicago Bulls beat the Toronto Raptors 137-118. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe, and you have found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so the Chicago Bulls take care of the Toronto Raptors tonight, and I think that the key takeaway out of this is just their ability to play fast and also to beat Toronto up inside. And so before we go ahead and jump into the box score and look at the key takeaways from tonight's game, I first wanted to remind you that 73.7% of you that watch are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure that you go ahead and you slam dunk on that subscribe button, as it means a lot to us here at Bulls Digest as we try to reach our end of the season subscriber goal. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the box score and look at the key takeaways from tonight's game. And so generally we start with the MVPs on the night, and usually we have 3, but tonight I'm going with 4. I think that, there were 4 players that I think really stood out in tonight's game. And so this was also to just denote a great team win because we did not have everybody available tonight with Julian Phillips and then also Dalen Terry out tonight along with Javon Carter. And so let's go ahead and start with MVP number 1 for me, and that is going to be Coby White. I think that Coby White was exceptional as far as getting to the free throw line yet again in this game. He went 5 of 5, and once again, he continues to score. This is now 16 out of 17 games that he has scored 20 plus points. And so Coby White tonight, look, he had 28 points. He also had 2 steals. He had 6 assists. He had 3 rebounds. He was plus 19, 10 of 16 from the field, 3 of 7 from deep. But once again, he was 5 of 5 from the free throw line, played with a ton of confidence in 34 minutes. It's always great when we see Coby White score like this, and I really think that he's definitely turned the page here with the Chicago Bulls over the last couple games or so. And so actually 17 games, I should say. And so next, let's go into MVP number 2 for me, and that is going to be Kevin Huerter. I think that Kevin Huerter played exceptional in tonight's game. In fact, there was one point in the game where he did not miss a shot, and I mean, he literally was on fire in this game. And Kevin Huerter, look, I guess he decided to go ahead, sit out a game, and then just maybe put his name into the dunk contest for next season, because he came out, he had 3 dunks in this game. I believe that was a career high, if I'm not mistaken. And so, look, Kevin Huerter, a nice game. He had 16 points. He had 2 rebounds. He had an assist. He was plus 14 from the plus-minus box score there. And then he had 7 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from deep in 33 minutes. And so, again, Kevin Huerter really had it going, dunking on people, back cuts, all kinds of stuff. And so I've been saying this over the last couple videos. I feel like that he's been moving very well in this offense, and he's starting to really look a lot like he did with the Atlanta Hawks. So Kevin Huerter had a very good game in today's game. And so next up, the next MVP on the night for me, it was Josh Giddey, because Josh Giddey did a terrific job as far as really setting the table for everybody in tonight's game, and he almost had a triple-double in this one. So he had 17 points, he had 12 assists, he had 7 rebounds. He was plus 9 from the field on 5 of 12 from the field, 1 of 2 from deep, and he was 6 of 8 from the free throw line in 28 minutes. Did have 5 turnovers, but once again, I like the way that, he just continued to get downhill and really just set the table for everybody, especially Vooch, which leads me to now MVP number 4, and that is Vooch, because Vooch, I've been talking about just how much energy he's been playing with lately, and tonight I thought that he had some terrific energy. If you got a chance to look at this game, in the third quarter, there was a sequence of moves that Vooch just puts on Toronto there in the paint. It was a whole host of defenders down there. Ended up not going in, but he just still fights to tip the ball out, and eventually he does get the ball back and score it. And so Vooch, the energy level was high tonight, and in this one, he had 22 points. He also had 10 rebounds. He had 7 assists. He had a block shot, and he was plus 9 from the field. Super efficient, 9 of 12 as far as his field goals, and then he was 2 of 3 from downtown in 25 minutes. So Vooch, he was MVP number 4 for me tonight. And so, look, that was really the story of the night for the Chicago Bulls, led by Vooch, Coby White, Kevin Huerter, and Josh Giddey. And so now we go ahead and look at the rest of the team and what they were able to do. And so let's start with Montas Buzelis. And so, look, Montas Buzelis, 9 points. He had 3 rebounds. He had 4 steals in this one, 1 block, and he was plus 12, 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from downtown in 29 minutes. And so, once again, this is a game in which Montas Buzelis didn't score a lot of points, but the activity was there. I liked the sequence of moves that he was putting on defenders as far as putting the basketball on the deck and dribbling. And then there were a couple of lobs that were missed. Coby White missed badly to him and also to Josh Giddey. I felt like those were 2 opportunities where Montas maybe could have had a highlight reel there. And then you love the fact that his defensive activity continues. And I continue to say this, as he gets stronger, not only is he going to be a terror on the offensive end, but he's going to be a matchup nightmare on the defensive end as well. And so Montas Buzelis, even though he doesn't score a bunch today, I still see some flashes that are just very encouraging. And so next up, the next player that we wanted to talk about here, just coming off the bench, was Zac Collins. And so, look, Zac Collins, a ton of activity on the boards, 12 rebounds tonight. He had 5 assists. He was plus 14, and he was 3 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from downtown. He hit a very nice jumper in the corner, and it was a nice pass from Coby White early on in 19 minutes. And so I always love the activity from Zac Collins. Regardless if he's scoring or not, you just love the effort that you're getting from him. And so next up, the next player that we had that came off the bench, and he was awfully close to being an MVP for me tonight. And really, I should say that he also led us as well. And that's going to be THT, because he had 27 points in this one. He had 3 assists, 6 rebounds, plus 19. He was 8 of 16 from the field and 3 of 8 from downtown. But more importantly, he was 8 of 8 from the free throw line. And I think that what I love most about THT is just his professionalism and just being ready, because even though he's not getting into the games, the last couple games he's come in, he's been ready to go. And I think he got rewarded in tonight's game from Billy Donovan, because look, we were without Dalen Terry, who has a calf strain. And then also too, we have another injury to Julian Phillips, who is dealing with a quad injury. And so look, we needed THT, and he came off the bench, and he was certainly a big deal for us tonight. And so THT was definitely a leading force for us. And so next up, Patrick Williams. And so look, Patrick Williams, 7 points, 3 rebounds, and assist in this one, 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 4 from downtown in 24 minutes. And so look, Patrick Williams, I mean, his activity as far as taking the shots, it was there tonight. It just didn't go down. And so I think that that is the positive out of this. And he still was a plus in the plus minus box scores. So you got to give Patrick Williams a lot of credit there. I would say the disappointment of the night is that Jalen Smith only got 4 points in this one. And that because of those 4 points, he only got 4 minutes. So it's 4 minutes, 4 points. I think that he definitely could have been more of a factor in tonight's game. So 4 points, 2 rebounds, a steal in this one, 2 of 3 from the field, 0 of 1 from downtown in 4 minutes. And I just think that Billy Donovan has got to put him in the lineup, especially with players being out of the lineup. He's going to be a guy that I think certainly you would depend on in a play-in situation and even into a playoff situation if the Bulls are able to make it out of the play-in. And so lastly, we got some minutes from E.J. Liddell, Emmanuel Miller, and then also Jameer Young. All got some minutes, short minutes. So 3 minutes for Miller, 3 minutes for Liddell, and 5 minutes for Young. And so once again, a very good game for the Chicago Bulls across the board, having to play shorthanded. I think it was an 8-man rotation for the most part. THT playing well off the bench. Talked about the 4 MVPs on the night. And so just a terrific effort there. The Bulls played their style of basketball, which was fast, and they were able to beat the Raptors up in the paint. So you got to give them a ton of credit there. And so let's go ahead and jump into now the team box scores and take a look there and just look at the key takeaways out of that. And so the Bulls were able to out-rebound the Raptors here, 49-35, so that was good to see with the Bulls doing that. As far as the turnovers, we cut them down from a night ago. We had 20 the night before, 12 tonight. It was actually a tie between the two teams, and so not bad. Next up, 3-2, the Raptors lead in the blocks there, and so that is something where they were a bit more active tonight. And then the points in the paint, which I've talked about a couple times, the Bulls just, man, they were going to work tonight. So 70-44 there, the Bulls take care of business. 10-7, the activity on the steals for the Bulls, it was there. And then 21-17, the Bulls in the fast breaks. And so they did a great job as far as playing their style of basketball, getting out and running. And so that was great to see. The field goal percentage for the Bulls, very good tonight. 56.8% from the field, 41.2 from downtown. You had the Raptors, they were at 45.4 and 45.4 for the three. So 44.4 for three, 45.4 their field goal percentage. And then when it came down to just the assists to field goal makes, 37 assists to 50 field goal makes. So that is very good for the Chicago Bulls. And this game went pretty quick for the most part. And I think it was because there really wasn't too many fouls called, even though I think the Bulls got to the foul line a lot more than the Raptors tonight. Look, 27 free throws on the night for the Bulls. They made 23 of those. And just for Toronto, they were only 10 of 11 tonight. And so I think the key takeaway out of all of this is that yet again, the Bulls qualify for the play-in situation, and so we're in there. Now it's going to be a matter of just, where the Bulls are going to really play. And so we'll see what happens. Obviously, we still got some updates to come about Lonzo Ball and then Trey Jones to see how that is going to factor into the Chicago Bulls as they go down the stretch here. I believe there's 6 games left. We got a couple days off before the next game, but a good, solid win for the Bulls. They qualify for the play-in situation. And we'll see where this goes. And so, look, I'm just glad that the Bulls got the win. And regardless of where we are in the season, man, it's just good to see that this young team is playing hard, playing well, and playing together. And so hopefully they can continue to build off of this regardless of what happens this season. And so, as we always say, go Bulls. I will see you on the next one. All right, peace.